Okay, morning everyone. Well, the briefing on Friday the 26th of August. 35 people on the webinar, so looks like it's going to be a nice day out there. Overnight's little ridge of high pressure, a tiny ridge of high pressure just building there. And then you move it on 24 hours and you can see that these fronts are just creeping towards us, but not making great progress in our direction, and I think we won't see the influence of that till very late in the day, if not overnight. A very slack area behind it, but as you can see also in front of it, just sort of wide isobars, light winds. There's a westerly trend. Certainly the upper wind is westerly because of the progression of the fronts, but I think it could be light and variable at times all over the place. Pressure has gone up a little bit from yesterday, stabilised things out a little bit. And the TAFs today are much shorter. So Farmer just saying fog first thing in the morning. Would be surprised with the bits of fog lurking around in the sort of valleys, some places. Broken at 100 feet, but becoming fairly quickly this morning, 10k plus viz, and eventually scattered at 4,500 feet, which is good news. Wind direction, Gatwick are saying 030, Farnborough 2 knots, 270. So yeah, could be a little bit all over the place, but I think it's westerly essentially, general flow in that direction. Looked at XC weather and they're forecasting the same light westerly for most of the day around Lasham. So upper winds down in the channel, yeah, they're westerly, but only 5 to 10 knots. And I think the centre of the country looks like a little bit of a southerly drift, but again, 5 knots up to flying heights at 5,000 feet, maybe a little bit stronger, but not much. The general upper wind, you can see here that the trend is west, 280, 300 degrees, 35 knots, and the same down through here. So there's a westerly trend, but lower down the winds are just very light. SatPic doesn't really show you very much. The 8 o'clock one essentially shows the front progressing towards us, but very, very slowly. You can see that there's bits of rain on it, but it's in the West Country, and it'll take a long time to get to us. And that's picked up on the rainfall radar. The infrared is quite clear in the area and around here, so there's nothing in terms of cirrus or anything going to cut the heating off. There's the rain. It's fragmented now, and I think as it comes along, it'll just slowly fragment, dissipate, and by probably late in the day, it'll only be just a cloud feature, yeah, heading towards us. So not really an issue. Temperature-wise, up a couple of degrees on yesterday. 24 degrees, I think, is sort of 23 is what the BBC are saying. But potential for 24 degrees, so quite warm. But I think later in the day, as that cloud gets here, the temperature will go down a little bit, and that'll mess a little bit with the dew points later in the day. I'm working on 8s and 9s, so fairly healthy temperature split. I'm playing about with the soundings. That sort of 1 o'clock round Lasham area with a dew point of 9. Yeah, you should have 4,500 foot cloud base by 1, 2 o'clock. Cloud tops, small amounts up around 5,000 feet. As you can see, just tucked in there is a very small amounts of cumulus, and then move it on a few hours. I think we start to get more cloud, and I think a bit of a risk of spread out later on as that front heads towards us. It could start to spread things out. Looking further north, this is the Bicester Buckingham area. Same sort of time, 1 o'clock. It should be just as good, 4,500 foot plus out there. But it all goes a little bit sort of wobbly a little bit later in the afternoon. And certainly I think by 6 o'clock, the upper cloud is certainly there, but it should still be soarable by the looks of it. Lark Hill, this just gives us an idea of what it's got to do to get soarable, really. Break the inversion down here, which is probably about 16 degrees, 17 degrees, realistically, to start getting any form of mixing. An inversion up and around the sort of 4,500 to 5,000 foot mark, that'll thin out a little bit as the day goes on. Remember, this is an air mass that's already gone a little bit past us. So certainly looking like a fairly reasonable day. Top Meteo are picking up on the cloud out to the west. And as you play through the chart, by 11 o'clock, we should start to see cumulus around Lasham. And up towards the north as well, that's 1 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, we're starting to sort of see some evidence of what they call Q congested spread out, basically. As the front gets a little bit closer, changes the air mass slightly, but still soarable. And they're saying by about 5 o'clock, probably switching off at about that time. Thermal heights. Certainly think once it gets going, it'll be fairly quick to about 3,000 feet. And then working on from there at about 1 o'clock, they're showing 1,600 meters around the Lasham area. And the same to the north and out towards Cambridgeshire. And certainly by 2-3 o'clock out that way, 1,700 meters, so 4.5 up to 5,000 feet. Same around Lasham, 5,000 feet above sea level could well be what they're predicting. Could well be a possibility. And again, they're showing it switching off. So potential flight distance, the direction appears to be go up to the north and into East Anglia. In the blue bands here. Yeah, it's typical. It's going to be nice over London. Gets warmer. It's further away from the approaching frontal system. Sky sight, very, very similar. Showing heights of thermals. This is 12 o'clock local, 1,300 meters around the Lasham area. The same further north, out towards Milton Keynes, around that area, 1,300 meters again. And then you move it up to say 1,430, and they're showing round us, west of us, 1,700 meters, all the way up into Cambridgeshire. Strength of thermals is quite fairly accurate. They're saying about 2.5 meters a second, so 4 to 5 knot thermals in the afternoon in that same area up towards the northeast. And their potential flight distance, same sort of thing, really good over London, but should be okay up to the north and round the airspace into East Anglia. So good day, folks. Might switch off a bit early with the frontal system, weak frontal system coming towards us, but certainly a good cross-country day. Good day for training as well. Light winds and small amounts of Q until it starts spreading out in the afternoon. Okay, airspace wise, not really a lot going on. The 17, 25, 29, they've just been on the charts for weeks now. They're irrelevant to any gliding operation. In here, you've got the junior nationals at Keble, and they're just saying that's active, but the airfield is closed to other traffic during that period. Number 20 down here, Goodwood have got a firework display, but that's in the evening. 39 is paragliding at South Cerney. I can only assume it's winch launching paragliding at South Cerney. Nothing else. There's no ridges around there, I don't think. So that must be going on there all day. And Women's World Championships at Husbos, and that's number 51, 52 in there. And 48 and 49, well, 49 is the a competition at Gransden Lodge, and they've also got Little Gransden just down the road, paragliding, so that looks like it's going to be a bit busy there. But as you can see, apart from that, not really a lot going on anywhere else. The only other restricted airspace of note is down at Sidmouth. The red arrows are down there this evening displaying. And that's about it. So quite quiet on the airspace front. Operationally, I think it'll be on 27, but that'll be up to Mike Birch's duty instructor today. Jet movements, we've got, in theory, a 727 departing at 10 o'clock. The flight plan says 10. The previous email yesterday afternoon said 9 o'clock, so it could be any time between 9 and 10, departing Lasham for Doncaster. And there's another flight plan been filed, but it's a bit of a strange one because the aircraft it's filed for was removed from the CAA register about 35 years ago. So bit of an odd one, but 1 o'clock something has filed, or someone has filed a flight plan for an aircraft departing, but it's certainly not HS125, which the registration on the flight plan suggests it is. So it could be anything. We do get spurious flight plans. We've had odd ones in the past, and I think this might be one of them. Okay, that's it, folks. Go and enjoy. Have a safe day. Make the most of it. Good cross-country day.